Hey, welcome back to the No Gamer channel. Um, we're here to talk about something to do with where I live, my country. It's here in Canada, Ontario, to be precise. Um, there's something wrong. Well, actually, you know what? This is across country, but anyways, there's something fundamentally wrong with this country and their housing. Okay, first of all, according to the hierarchy of needs, shelter's a need, not a want. So why money's being made on needs is it kills me because supposedly our government goes on all this stuff like the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or whatever the hell it's called, and and that's the thing that's binding to our philosophy and stuff of life and so forth. Okay, so this is what we're taught, that this is what we believe in, so forth. But yet, people are making millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars off you and me with buying a house. What's crazy is in the Toronto area and out in Vancouver area on the other side of the country, these houses that like literally are probably only worth about 50 grand should literally be torn down and stuff, are selling for millions because they're claiming it's supply and demand and so forth, but they're lying. Canada has more space than non-space. Like there's lots of land to build, lots of stuff everywhere. So that's a lie to begin with. And another thing is that, excuse me, years ago I worked with a guy whose brother was a contractor of a company. He was actually the owner of his own company, but he contracted building suburbs. So like they'd go down some land, clear it out, build a bunch of streets, build the houses on the streets, and so forth. So the guy's building whatever, like 100, 200 houses, whatever he's building at the time, okay? So back then, we're talking 10 years ago, and this is Canadian money too. Um, we'll up it about what I don't, due to inflation, maybe 25 grand. He told us that these 5 to 600 grand houses that people were buying were only costing him 120 grand with labor and material to build these houses. Okay, so like I said, up at maybe 20, 25 grand, whatever, due to inflation. But point is these houses are being sold for 600 grand, 500 grand, even more after that. Why? That makes zero sense. How did it go from 120 to all the way up to that? That's crazy. First of all, here's a way to solve economic problems too that we have. If they actually only allowed, say, 20% above the building cost of a house to be sold, and that includes everybody in it, you'll see a big change. Because I really could care less about 4% of people that are going to be out of work making their millions upon your slavery and hard earned work and stuff, buying these houses and whatever. Like, that's all that should be allowed. And then you do something for the people. Obviously you'd have to come up with some of the people now that bought houses, like per se that their house, whatever, they get some kind of weird tax breaks for the next whatever, like just something that will compensate the people that got stuck in this big criminal scam, because it's a criminal scam. Trust me, it's a criminal scam, housing. To take that on people's needs and the government to allow it, and then sell houses that should be torn down for millions of dollars, because the only way you can show me a house is worth anything more than its first initial cost of buying is, did gold form in the walls? Uh, like the only thing I could really say is that, yeah, okay, you did renovations, you show receipts for renovations. Okay, I get it. That might up the price of a house, but the point is a house should never appreciate. It should depreciate. And another rule is here is they need to make it that when you buy a house, you have to live in it. There's no more of this. Some companies from fucking China or wherever the hell overseas they're coming from, because China's the big talk here about the people that are doing it. They buy up like all shitloads of real estate and stuff like that, right? So um, it's not exactly the greatest, for people that live here, because they say we don't now get an opportunity to buy a house. We are stuck renting now and so forth. But I mean, absolutely true. So that should be enough for that too. You own a house, you have to live in it. You don't live in it, you're not allowed to own a house. It's just that simple. Then that'll help take care of people that can get houses. I mean, this is ridiculous the way they do housing here. It's one of the biggest criminal scams I've ever seen, and I've seen lots of criminal scams out there. So this is one of the biggest, and it's our own government that does this. And I don't know what it's like where you are, but that's how it's like here. So if the government wants to fix things, they need to start clamping down, putting a rule that you only make, per se, 20% above the actual cost of building that house, and that goes to the company that built it, I guess, or whatever, like, or part of the bank. And if the bank's part of it, they can only mortgage so much, whatever. They got to work with the company that built it, whatever. Point is it's just ridiculous, and it's a giant scam. We should be buying houses for what they're actually worth, especially if they're old. You're in a house that's 50 years old, man. There's no way it's worth millions and stuff. It's called tear down time, in a sense, especially for a lot of them. But anyways, that's my vlog for today, and thanks for watching. If you got any questions, you got something you want to say it back, because maybe you're just as angry as I am. I don't know. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.